All right, everyone. So, like I mentioned in the other videos, the middle is going to be, well, the back center, like the other ones, we're looking at just that side, so the snake side or the Dorito side. But remember the middle, I'm just counting all of this as the center. So if you want to look at anything Dorito specific, we're looking at these two bunkers here, and then going down the Dorito side, and the snake side, we're looking at the can, the Aztec, the corner, and then everything down the snake side. So in this one, we're going to be looking at the middle. So just like we had seen in the other videos, I'm not a huge fan, at least snake side, for the back center. Dorito side, at least you can shoot into this little gap. Make sure that you watch that so you can see kind of what might be possible there, but there's really not a whole lot here. If someone is going to delay here, it's just going to be a way to shoot and then try to maybe get a shot and then get out. So let's go up this side. So if there is someone shooting cross from the brick or from the back center, they have this gap. So this is definitely going to be something that if you're going into the middle, either side, you really need to make sure that you're going heads up and you're looking downfield at what is it specifically that is able to get that shot on me. But as I'm moving up, if I get to here, I'm blocked out from both of them. So let's move back a little bit further. So you can actually get back to here and then go straight up into this can, being mindful of this can wrapping or someone trying to run and gun and go out to the corner, or maybe into this Aztec, but getting out to that section and then just trying to book it all the way up. Of course, be careful of any blind shots, but it really looks like you get out to here, you can kind of shoot back at the back center and maybe into this zone, and then just go straight up into this can. This Aztec might have a blind, but if you go quick enough, you might be completely okay from that. So that's definitely a route. I think, yeah, it might get a little bit crazy in this middle. But let's look at this can and see if it's worth. Yeah, I in the snake side video, we had mentioned this already, but with this gap, this is a lot better to come here to shoot this gap. And then you also have this gap. There's going to be others that I think are even better, but at least this can, you're able to slow some people down, and then maybe coming here to shoot the outside. But I think that the snake one, if they're in there, they're already going to be up and moving into the snake 2 and 3 by the time you get here. I don't think this is going to be a spot that you want to get to, so that way you can stop any sort of movement down the snake side. If anything, I would say shoot at the Dorito side to help with them. But the issue there is that you're letting them get further down the field. There's going to be some other spots that you can do that from as well. And the issue is that stopping the snake is going to be tough. So making sure that you're in a good spot to slow the snake down is going to be really important. Let's look at this pin, because usually you don't really want to play pins, but let's look and see. You have some drop shots into the snake. I don't like how open you're going to be to everything over here, though. So yeah, this isn't really going to be a spot. I mean, if you wanted to come here to maybe sneak a shot in on someone over here, then great. But I don't think, yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, it's not the worst, but I feel like you can do some other stuff from other places. So let's get into this wedge. So this wedge, you're losing all those inside shots for sure. So you just have to be mindful of that. But I think the success of this wedge is going to be coming here to wait for this snake player. So this way you can actually protect if your snake is in here, and then there's if you're shooting this way, at least you'll be able to have eyes on that particular snake. And for them to come through isn't necessarily going to be the easiest. There's a lot of stuff in the way. So I guess they could come into this little W and then go up, but definitely, this could be an option to help slow this this snake down and force them to have to try to maybe come and get you. Let's look here at, and I want to look. Oh, there's my mouse. Yeah, you're pretty safe to just crawl up. So if we crawl up and get into this brick, let me go up to more of a normal-ish height. Oh, that's over the top too much. Yeah, this could actually be a really good spot to shoot down into this outside of the snake. Now they do have the inside route, so they would be able to crawl underneath and then pop up in here, but at least you would have eyes this way. So if you're a good heads up player and you're just tucked in, this could be a decent spot to help with the snake. Now the issue is that if somehow they got around and they just didn't pop up here and you let them go all the way down, that's when it's going to be an issue. So I think it might be that the better spot is this wedge, just because you can shoot down more. So if there is someone that tries to come around here, you're going to be able to see that because they can't come through here. It's touching the beam. You're either going to catch them around here. They're going to have to battle with you. You might even be able to back up. It's pretty close, but you might be able to back up and shoot off this into that guy. The only thing that they could do is hop the inside and then try to come and get you. But if you have someone in the snake, then it's going to make it a lot more difficult for them to do that. So this wedge looks pretty solid to be able to help with the snake side. Let me turn and look from here though. Yeah, I don't really like this to look the Dorito way, just because you can't do anything until they get into your Dorito, and by that point, like, that things have gone wrong. If you were to come here though, this is 100% threading the needle, and you'd have to know that they're not wider than that Dorito, and I feel like there's going to be a bounce coming through here. The good thing is that if someone wanted to try to come through and get you, this can is big enough that it's going to be very difficult for them to do that. So if you're shooting into this gap, or you're trying to stop them from making this move, the brick here I think is going to be able to bounce it off of the can. The home might even be able to do that. If they wrap either side, it looks like they might be able to bounce it off and at least put you and keep you honest. So the safer option is, if you're in this brick, is to look for a way to go through, because that's not really a great position. Let me move back, and we're going to do the same thing. So from here, you have to be careful of the back center and this can shooting cross. Now they can kind of float here, and then just like we had the same issue with the can, I think it's gonna be a lot of the same kind of stuff you have to watch out for. This little brick here can wrap and shoot into this no man's land. Once you're here, just like the can, if you kind of rub up against here and go straight into this tower, you're relatively safe, with the exception of it being this brick. So it might even be good for the can and the brick to shoot heads up for a second to help stop that guy if you are making a move, because once you're here, you're safe. Unless they're running and gunning perfectly up the middle, then you have other things to worry about. But let's move into this tower, and I want to look at the snake side. Okay, I don't really like this for the snake side, and the reason being is that I just really can't see a lot. So they're going to be able to crawl around and be able to cause issues there. Let's look Dorito way. So at least you have eyes this way into, is that the Dorito 2? Yes, so into this Dorito 2. When you're down, if they have you tucked in, it's going to be very difficult. But if you're standing up a little bit and shoot right over the top here, you can at least stop that movement from the outside. I wonder actually if I can shoot there and it'll bounce in. Seems like a little bit too hard of a bounce or too hard of a bounce to go in, but that's definitely one to consider. Same thing for, I was going to say off this to the outside of the Dorito, but I feel like you're going to be able to shoot more heads up. It might not hurt to throw some at the bottom, so it skips up, but nothing really amazing is what it looks like. Let's move into the wedge and move up into here and go down to a normal height, because I am not like 17 feet tall. And let's look heads up. So if they make it through that gap, coming here might not be the worst, because I can kind of chill and throw paint off here and skip it, or throw paint through this gap. And then if for some reason they make it through, I have this next gap as well. So it's going to force them to have to really battle you to make it through. So this wedge might be pretty good for that. But let's look. Yeah, snake side. If they get to your side, that's like we saw in the snake video. If they get to your side, that's when you're going to have some issues. But let's move into actually do this, because I want to see if I can. Yeah, you'd be able to crawl through here fine. Of course, if there's a snake, then you won't be able to do that. But this I really like for this guy. This is actually a bunker that I feel like you could actually bait the guy on the Dorito side, because you can stay tucked in and just be able to sit on that gap. And even if they wrap real hard, you can just chill right there. Now, I think the Dorito is going to be able to bounce off this into you, so you just have to be aware of that, and just be careful of them trying that kind of a bounce. If they get to your snake, that's when it's definitely going to be an issue. And let's look snake side in the middle. Kind of, yeah, this is very much like the other snake, middle snake side, is that you can shoot into the gaps, but I feel like they're going to be wider than that. If they haven't gotten into the snake, the can probably bounce it off here. Yeah, this looks like a lot of the same stuff, but I feel like if I were to, I went the wrong way. If I were to do this, let me zoom back. So I feel like if I can get my marker, having someone here to shoot into this gap is going to be really helpful. Someone here is not going to be where you want to be to shoot either way. You either want to have someone in here that can shoot, oh, that's a terrible line, there and the outside, and at least be able to try to catch someone. And this guy is only able to shoot through, but I feel like the better spot is going to be right here. And again, it's just for this zone through here. Just be careful of them shooting off here and bouncing it into you. I think that's going to be an issue. Anytime you're shooting inside this way, if there's someone here, it might not be bad just to shoot either this side or this side, depending on what brick they're in, because they might be switching around. But I personally don't like this brick to shoot snake side, or really Dorito side. I feel like if you're going to have someone, this is the guy for the Dorito side, and this is the guy for the snake side. If you're going to be doing that. This can didn't seem particularly amazing, but could be something that helps you with getting some information at least. The big issue with this middle is going to be this humongous no man's land. So you have this huge section right here, and this huge section right here. So you just want to make sure that you are being mindful of that, because you have a huge section on either side of the box that you're going to be able to see into that gap. So just have that in the back of your mind. I'm not saying that it's the worst move in the world or whatever, but just know that they can shoot from here to here from the back center, and here to here from the back center, and shoot into that zone. So that might be the best spots to actually shoot if you have someone, either if you have it where you have two players here and have one shooting each way, and then they can filter up or out depending on what they want to do, or if you have someone go out and up like we saw with those routes, then that might be your best option. So just something to think about, but tell me in the comments down below, what is it you guys think? Do you think that the middle is going to be super strong? Do you think it's going to be more of a lockdown? Is it going to be kind of bloody, kind of going through and hurting people? Put it in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, remember, watch, learn, win. Thanks.